Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing with you guys an inside look at one of our history lessons. So if you are new to my channel, my name is Megan and I am a mom to 6 kiddos, and 4 of them are going to be joining me for our history today. This has now taken the place as my all-time favorite history in our homeschool. It uses a 4-year classical cycle of history broken up by ancient, medieval, early modern, and modern times. And you just cycle through it over and over again as you make your way through it, just at a deeper level of understanding. Now, what's really cool about Biblioplan is it is for K through 12. I personally don't start using it until 2nd grade, just because developmentally, I think that fits a little bit better for our family. But this is kind of a textbook. It doesn't read like a textbook though. It has a lot of great information in it, but it reads really well. It's very interesting and engaging. It's a lot of great quality information, a very thorough history, and reports history as history, which is what I really want in our home. You also can pull in some other resources. I will link a couple of other videos I've done down below. One of them is a flip through, just so you can get a better view of what exactly is included in Biblioplan. But I'm going to take you through our day of what a normal lesson using this curriculum would look like. And just for reference, the kids that I'm doing this with are 2nd through 7th grade. So elementary, lower elementary through middle school for our history lesson today. Okay, so we are going to be using our text today, but we also are going to be using a coloring page just to keep hands busy while ears are open and listening. I do check for understanding throughout the lesson, so they aren't just left coloring and me reading everything. And then I also grabbed right here our cool history for middles. I am having my middle schooler do the little worksheet that you can get to go along with it, just for the chapter. That's the coloring book, sorry. Then there's also a timeline component. You can choose to use this or not, but it is just, we cut those pictures out, put them on the timeline where they go. And then this is our cool history for littles, and all this is just some comprehension questions about the reading. And sometimes there's some little extra activities that are suggested in here and some pages that you can print out to accomplish those activities. But this is the heart of the whole thing. This is our family guide. And so today we are doing day 2 of this one when you are seeing this video. And this just tells us what to read, like which sections in the text to read. And what's really neat about this is if you want to add any hands-on supplements, okay, it'll tell you which days you can do those. It also has a Bible reading if you want to use that. Trial and Triumph, which is a great book that we have pulled in quite a bit. There's not any of those readings for this one. But if you want to use any of these other resources like Story of the World Volume 2 or Mystery of History to read instead of what's written in the text or in addition to, you can. Now, where that comes in handy is if you have some younger children, and for example, if you are learning about, there is a chapter in here where it talks about the rise of Islam during the medieval period, and it goes into great detail about what they believe, which this is written from a Christian perspective, but it does go into great detail. And so if you have a younger one that you don't quite want to introduce all of the different faiths and stuff like that, then a good option for you might be either to read the Mystery of History selection for that day, or just to read the Story of the World section for that day. So obviously we're not going to run into any issues in any of that today, but just as a heads up for some of you that may not feel comfortable with some of those deep dives into the logistics of history background. The other thing it gives is it also gives literature suggestions, which is fantastic. It also gives family read aloud suggestions, some things you can do to accomplish grammar, writing, logic, all that kind of good stuff. And then it also has some online resources and movies you could pull in to go with it as well. And if you do CC or Claritas, Veritas, whichever one, it tells you which cards you're going to be practicing for that. So that is a look inside this family guide, which is perfect. Now, if you have a high schooler and you are doing this history, then there is actually a high school book to go along with it. And so when my oldest gets to high school, we will just purchase that book to go along with this curriculum, and we will continue to cycle on through because I love it. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to go over with them is I like to review on what we learned the last time. And the last time we were talking about feudalism. What is feudalism? Do you remember?
I didn't.
Okay, so we start with the king. So what it is it says it's a system for society that puts them in rankings and classes, right? Okay, so it starts at the top with the king. Who comes next?
Lord.
The Lord, okay?
And the knights.
Okay, and then the knights.
And the peasants.
Okay. Yep, knights. And what do the knights provide the lords?
Money.
Money and
Food.
well, yeah, through the peasants, right?
Protection.
Yeah, protection. Because yeah, they protect the areas that the lords are lording over, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the knights, and then you said the peasants. Now, ooh, do y'all remember the three different types of peasants? Serfs.
Slaves. Freemen. And then slaves.
Okay, serfs, freemen, and then slaves. The reign of William the Conqueror marks the beginning of the High Middle Ages, the ages of castles, knights, and chivalry. William was England's first great castle builder. And whenever he moved into a new part of England, he built at least a small castle there. Each new castle was an army base with barracks for troops. I want to take a second and let you guys know about something really cool that Biblioplan does on their website. So there are 4 years of history cycle that you could choose from, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. But what's really neat is you can actually download the first 3 weeks of this curriculum for whichever year you want to check out. So if you want to study ancient times, you can download the first 3 weeks of this curriculum and give it a try and see if it's something that you think would work well for your family. It will also give you the chance to really deep dive into whichever level you might be interested in, as well as the other components that come along with it. Because when you download that free trial for the first 3 weeks, it includes the text, it includes any of the companion guides. You can actually deep dive into the family guide and all of those things to really get a feel before you commit to purchasing the curriculum. Also, check out the description below because there is a coupon code for 15% off on their website as well. I do also want to let you know that in total, this lesson took us about 30 minutes from start to finish, not including our read alouds. All right, so we are done reading through our lesson, and so now we're just going to go over just some review questions about everything. They've been just coloring away, and we've been chatting back and forth in between things. We actually learned that in a jousting tournament in 1500, what happened?
A king died from a splinter.
On the end of what? His jousting pole, yeah. Of his lance, that's what it's called. Okay, so, thanks to, okay, hold on, wait. Serfs, let's see. The strongest part of a moat and bailey castle stood at the top, oh no, wait. The strongest part of a moat and bailey castle stood at the top of the moat. What was this called? I don't even remember what it was called. Hold on. What's it called? Oh, the keep. The keep. That should be easy to remember, but we didn't. I got interrupted, actually. I actually got a phone call from our homeschool umbrella to talk about high school credits. So That, in our defense, we had to take a break in the middle of history. Okay, next. A long, low fence separated the jousting list into 2 lanes, one for each night. What was the fence called?
The tilt.
The tilt.
Already.
Yay, good job. The tilt.
What about the Bailey?
The Bailey Castle?
It says the Bailey part was surrounded by strong wooden walls called
Palisades, remember?
palisades.
Yeah.
Spell that?
Okay, and then that's it for our questions today. Mr. William the Conqueror. My kids always like to trace through the page too. Anyway, so now we are going to move on to our timeline pieces, and what I do is usually we'll cut them out, and then I'll have the kids take turns putting them on the timeline. Okay, and so Edward the Confessor didn't have any descendants, right? Because he took that vow. And in walks in, dun, 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 William the Conqueror.
Can I glue him on?
Yes.
Can I put him on?
You can put William on. William the Conqueror. And thus the Norman Conquest took place. All right, and besides our read-alouds that we are doing, this concludes our history lesson for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed an inside look at what it looks like, sorry, I've got glue on my finger, to do history using Biblioplan. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments, and stay tuned for a full review and my thoughts on this curriculum coming soon. Thanks so much, guys, and have a blessed day.